All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Houston Rocket Daily channel. If you guys enjoy this video, be sure to hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, post Rockets content on this channel, primarily every single day, at least once from here until forever. So let's talk about last night's game. If you follow my main channel, hopefully you guys are all subscribed to my main channel, I had a lot to say. So I will leave that video. It was a recap. I'll leave that video. If you guys want to go watch that, go watch it on the main channel. I want to talk primarily about Silas today because, my thoughts in the offseason were, and my thoughts last season were Silas was a horrible coach, horrible choice, but me, along with everybody else, we wanted to give him the benefit of the doubt. So comes the offseason, we had a whole year with him, we won 17 games, and in comes the offseason, and it's like, still very much on the fence, but still, once again, willing to give Silas the benefit of the doubt, considering everything that happened last year. No more Russell Westbrook, no more James Harden, no more PJ Tucker, no more Victor Oladipo. A ton of players came in, they got passed around like once, you throw them out. So we had a new roster heading into this year, and I thought it was honestly a pretty decent roster. I still think it's like it's a solid enough roster that by the end of the season we'll be pretty happy and we'll be pretty thrilled with the results and who we have available. But, I look at a game like last night where Silas comes out and says, we're going to make a change. We're going to make a change. And I posted a video actually on this channel before the game saying changes are coming, and I'm really worried that Daniel House Jr. is going to start. And I saw a stat from somebody in my comment section that Daniel House Jr. has 8 points this season. I don't think that's true. I think he has more than 8 points, but I wouldn't be surprised if he only had 8 points. I don't have a fact check, but he came out yesterday, 0 of 5, 0 points, starts the first half, and first off, why was he starting? But whatever. It was a strategic move, and it didn't work, backfired, whatever. Lesson learned. Moving forward, if Daniel House Jr. continues to start, I think there's some major issues. I think that there's some major issues with Silas, and honestly, it might even be egotistical issues. I don't know what his deal is with running just the same rotations out there and expecting the same results. I mean, you've lost 13 straight basketball games. It's clear what we're at 4. I believe 4 of the last 13 losses have been by single digits. So it took you that long to figure out a roster, a lineup change was needed. So, the Daniel House situation is one of its own. Silas played 11 guys yesterday, which is, I'm not complaining about that he played 11 guys. I do think that's a little strange because it was never really like a blowout. I mean, Rockets were never out of the game enough for them to lose. Like, it wasn't like a 30-point blowout like the other 2 losses have been. So I thought it was kind of weird that only 6 guys played 15 minutes. It gives me the impression that Silas is like stressing. It gives me the impression that Silas is tweaking. He's not comfortable, and he's, to me, clearly not a developmental coach. But that's neither here nor there. I think if you had some more veterans on this team, I think that if you gave Silas the Rockets starting roster from the start of last year and they actually finished the year, I don't think it would have been that badly, but I don't think he's the guy going with, when you have 4 first-round draft picks, I don't think he's the guy, right? So, and I'm honestly shocked he came back when I really dive into it, because it's like, you have a new coach, that new coach is going to want new players. He came onto a roster last year with, like, when he was hired, they still had Russ. They still had Harden. They still had Peach. So they've hired him to win, right? But now we're developing, so he wasn't helping us win. He's not helping us develop. What's he helping us do? I mean, Alfred Sengun, I just honestly can't, like, how did he play 5 minutes? With the way he's been playing this season, I don't understand how Alfred Sengun played only 5 minutes last night. I really can't comprehend it. Now, granted, there's some good news. Like, when you take a look at all the negatives from last night's game, everything we've talked about, maybe even throwing Christian Wood in there, it's not the end of the world. right? We're 15 games into the season, so it's not the end of the world, but I do believe Stephen Silas should be on the hot seat. I feel like he should be on the hot seat for a number of reasons, mainly the losses, but it's a tricky situation because I don't know which route the Houston Rockets organization is going to go into. I'm fine with losing basketball games with a promising young team. The issue is these promising young players aren't getting minutes. And I mentioned this in my main channel today. There's zero reason to have Daniel House Jr. on this team. There is zero reason to have Eric Gordon on this team. There is zero reason to have even DJ Augustine on this team. So I look at the offseason this last year. I don't know what Rafael Stone was doing. Did he think we were going to be competitive, or did he want to do the same approach where you're playing the veterans for the first chunk of the season and then you're letting the rookies go for the second half of the season? But then I look at a team like the Golden State Warriors. I look at a guy like Jordan Poole, who, when he first came into the NBA, was really struggling with his shot. What did they do? They kept playing him. And Golden State Warriors games were not pretty last year before Steph Curry came back. Even when Steph Curry came back, it wasn't the prettiest sight. But you can tell, as they're the best team in the NBA right now with 2 losses, that was worth it. Playing those young guys was worth it so that they would be ready for this next upcoming season. It gives me concerns because I don't think the Rockets are necessarily trying to win anytime soon, which is never a good sign. Contradicting that, you saw Eric Gordon play 39 minutes last night, which is eye-opening. I know the Rockets are dealing with some injuries, specifically with Kevin Porter Jr. being out last night. 39 minutes for Eric Gordon, like, I just would so much rather have Josh Christopher play 39 minutes. I'd rather have, like, Usman Garuba, like Garrison Matthews play 39 minutes. Anybody not named Eric Gordon, Dan House Jr., DJ Augustine. That's just my opinion, though. Daniel Tice, he did fine. I like Daniel Tice on the bench. I don't like Daniel Tice on the bench if it means Elfrid Şengün's out of the rotation. At that point, I'm like, why the hell do we have Daniel Tice? Why are we giving him these minutes? On the same hand, Daniel Tice has been playing good basketball as of late, and he's a good basketball player, and he's a valuable basketball player. But Stephen Silas needs to figure out a way where you can have 3 big men in one night. I don't understand all this small ball. I get the starting lineup change to take Tice out, but why is Tice taking over completely for Şengün? Şengün's red hot right now. So it's just, there's so much stuff that doesn't make sense. So I wanted to make this video and just kind of voice that because I know a lot of you guys are probably feeling the same way. So I'd love to hear what you guys want to do with Stephen Silas or just the Rockets roster moving forward. I have a feeling a lot of people are going to want trades, maybe even some firings. I don't think we're quite at that point, but I would say if the Rockets won 6 games this year, like they're on pace to do, obviously fire him. Obviously fire him. I'd fire him before the season's over. But I'm not trying to get rash. I'm not trying to go quick decision just because we've lost 13 straight games. But really, how have you lost 13 straight games? I don't know. That's it for today, guys. Hope you enjoyed this little rant. Drop a comment, drop a like. We're trying to get to 1,000 subscribers by the end of the year. So I really appreciate all you guys watching today's video. And I'll see you tomorrow.